Ursarctic is one of those Yu-Gi-Oh decks that just gets lost to time because of how terrible it is. Unfortunately for me, that's exactly the kind of deck that I'm most interested in. Although I think more than anything, it has one of the most unique gameplay loops in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the only archetype, to my knowledge, to feature negative synchro summoning. You take one of the tuner level 8 monsters, which by itself is really different, and one of the level 7 monsters to bring out a synchro level 1. The deck has access to a card that can draw you potentially 7, which is nuts, and the boss monster can even lock your opponent from activating extra deck monster effects. It also has access to a fusion monster that uses a field spell as material. I mean, it's really out of this world. It's plagued with an insane minusing since you have to tribute high-level monsters from your hand in order to bring them out. And the level 8 monsters don't even have access to their effects unless another Ursarctic is on the field. Luckily for us, two really important pieces of support came out that enables a deck to be at least playable. The first being Ultimate Bright Knight Ursartron Alpha. Oh yeah, did I mention they smashed the Tritron archetype in here somehow? Konami showed us mercy by allowing this monster to be summoned without tributing something else, and also searches an Ursarctic card. The second wave of support doesn't even belong to the archetype. It's the new Mitsuguri deck. This allows us to tribute monsters from our hand without losing card advantage, and even lets us use the level 4 monsters as better synchro material. It's a lot to take in, so let's just go over to a replay so I can show you what this is all about. Alright, so here we are at the replay. I'll try to go a little bit slow, but there are good pieces of support within the deck. It's just kind of hard to find. You had to be... like this one, discard 1. It's so unfortunate, right? Like everything is a minus in this deck. And again, there are no Ursarctic cards that trigger when they're like sent to the graveyard or tributed. So this is just a minus. Well, it goes, I guess +0, but this is still really good. And let's just search 2 of the archetype monsters. So this is technically a 2.5 card combo. I did say the deck was bad. So this is the main searcher of the deck. This is Mick Polar. So you tribute a monster from your hand, a high-level monster, bring it out, and it lets you search. So this is where the new Mitsuguri archetype comes in, because I get to search, but I'm not minusing, right? Because this also triggers, allowing me to search another archetype card. In this case, it's the normal summon, which searches you pretty much everything else. So it doesn't really matter what you search, you just have to find one of the level 8s. And in this case, it's probably the best one. This is one that lets you Book of Moon your opponent. So this is the one that every time you summon a different named Ursarctic, lets you draw 1 card, which we'll see a lot in this duel. So this lets you search the other ritual monster. You want to have this level 4 so you can use it as synchro material. Again, it's going to trigger, you're drawing a card, you're searching, so now you're kind of gaining all that advantage back after tributing cards, which is really good. Again, every time you bring one out, it doesn't have to be like a main deck monster. Any Ursarctic lets you draw a card. And then, of course, you want to like trigger it correctly. You want to have the draw 1 first, even though it's a very small chance of happening. And you want to have the field spell out first. In case you draw the field spell, then you're not getting an extra card. So it can be anything, doesn't matter. This combo does not rely on it at all. So there we go. That's where the level 4 really comes in. So again, it's very unique to have a level 8 tuner. You like never see that. But it can help you go into Crimson Dragon, which is one of my favorite cards in the entire game. And this lets you search a card, I think that mentions it, basically. And this lets you just Monster Reborn something. It locks into Synchro Summoning, which is fine. All we do is Synchro Summon. Again, just bringing back the level 8. There we go. There goes that Synchro Summon here. The Ursarctic Septirion. I don't know to say any of these cards. Negate the effects of all face-up monsters without a level that were special summoned from the extra deck. So Link monsters are gone. So that's really, really cool, which I really like. Or XYZ monsters, that's also obviously very popular. That can just lock your opponent out of the game. So this is where things get really wacky. I just decided to do something kind of weird. It's fun to experiment with these kinds of things. You can be much more simpler in the way that you do this. Bring out like some sort of normal level 7. But I decided to do it this way. So Shooting Riser Dragon can send something to the graveyard. I like to use... well, and for this case, in the combo, you have to use this. You have to use a level 2. And this is kind of like the only level 2. But in theory, you could use this, right? Besides the fact that it's a good hand trap by itself. You can, manipulate the levels here. But, you are triggering effects from your hand. So if your opponent tries to activate something, if you just have this in your hand, it's also good. But in any case, it lets you go into a Synchro 12. So this lets you go into the Saturnian side. I did say this was a little wacky, but I'll have to mess around with the deck a lot more to kind of figure it out. But this is just for fun. So this is the Trudia. The Trudia can help you, set these 2 cards. And then during your opponent's turn, This lets you shuffle cards back, which is really cool. And you also have the Searcher too. So this acts kind of as a field spell where if you did have an Ursarctic in your hand, again, you've drawn 3 cards over the course of this combo. So one of these cards could very easily just be Ursarctic. I didn't want to show that because I just wanted to show the combo as is. And lets you go into Cosmic Blazar Dragon. So your opponent's like soft locked, out of, what's it called? Link monsters and XYZ monsters, which is pretty cool, especially linked monsters. Theoretically, you have hand traps, or these could be Ursarctic cards, especially the one that like searches or something like that, right? Like you did search this. This wasn't like one of the cards that you drew. So you get your combos going again. You're running obviously, 3 of, like Megatonus. There's other level 8s, or you can draw into another McPolar and get your combos going again. You can either tribute this, or you can tribute the Searcher. They'll let you banish from the graveyard, stuff like that. So that's just an example combo. Kind of silly, kind of fun. So what are my final thoughts? Well, I definitely want to experiment with the Fusion monster. The Fusion spell basically acts as the field spell since it lets you banish it for cost for your Ursarctic monsters. And the Fusion monster is also a leveled monster, which can help you with Synchro summoning, which I want to experiment with. The deck desperately needs monsters that trigger effects on tribute or get sent to the graveyard. The fact that it doesn't already exist is kind of baffling. Still, I can't help but love it. What do you guys think of Ursarctic? Let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.